Happy Easter and welcome to Bill O'Reilly. How are you, Bill?
I'm okay, Beck. Thanks for asking.
Sure. Let me just get do you have any additional or new thoughts on Russia and the expelling of the 60 diplomats? I mean, it's expected. Any thoughts on what it means or where we go from here?
Well, you'll know that I love to brag on your show, Beck.
I know.
It is unseemly on Good Friday and the beginning of Passover.
Well, it's pretty much unseemly every week, but
you'll know that I kicked off the Trump administration by interviewing a president.
I know, you tell me every week.
And my marquee was asking him, why are you friendly with a killer? Putin. Why? All of us who follow international news know that Putin has an arm of assassins, and they go all over the world and they kill people. All right, and CIA knows it, MI6 knows it, in Britain, everybody knows it. All right, and that's what happened to these people in Great Britain. So, what do? I mean, Putin runs the show in Russia. He's not going anywhere. You're not going to change him. If he weren't the president, he'd probably be one of the assassins. I mean, did you ever look at the guy's eyes? Okay. So then you have to basically take it case by case. And I think that the expulsion of the Russian diplomats was something that the countries could do to send a message to Putin. Does Putin care? He cares a bit. He doesn't want to be an international pariah, and I think that's how you go with him. You try to isolate and marginalize him personally, and maybe he'll stop a little bit.
Does this really matter to anybody in their real life?
No, because it's so distant. It's so far away. They don't know where Crimea is, and I'm not being supercilious, word of the day, supercilious, but most people don't know where it is. They don't care about Ukraine. They don't care about how Russia operates. It doesn't touch upon their lives. So, yeah, I mean, they know Putin's a bad guy who runs around topless in the Arctic,
right.
But that's about all they know about him.
Is this something they should care about, and if so, why?
Well, yeah, it depends on what kind of a citizen you are. I mean, if you're a really hyper-aware citizen that is interested in the world, of course, you have to care and pay attention. But most people are just trying to make a living and getting through the day or the week.
Yeah.
So I don't come down on people who are apathetic about what Putin does.
Or supercilious?
That's me. Supercilious because he's arrogant. And I'm talking down to people. Our government is charged with keeping an eye on Putin. And so we have to have enough confidence that our government will do that. And at this point, I do. I think that we're keeping a close eye on this guy.
All right, let me change directions. On the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro's people went out and they talked to Georgetown University students. And they asked them about George Washington. I'm sorry, not Georgetown, but George Washington University, and asked them about George Washington. I want you to listen to this audio, Bill.
I'm Ami Horowitz, and I'm here on the campus of George Washington University, named after our first president and also a slave owner. I wonder if students here think we should keep the name or change it.
Personally, I would change the name.
I think that it should be changed. I think that recognition is super important, and I think that
recognition
for who he was as a person.
I don't agree with slave trade, so yeah.
Would you change the name if you could do it?
Yeah, sure.
That was 1776, it's 2018, and I think it's important that we realize and reupholster the systems that built us.
Sure, I think we should change the name. It's not to say that he wasn't an important man back then. It's just saying that in this day and age, it's not as important, I don't think.
What's the first thing that comes to mind when I say George Washington?
Oh, I think about him owning slaves, yeah.
So college kids are morons. Is that the headline here?
I will tell you, I about burst a blood vessel when.
Here's the bigger story.
Yeah.
Here's the bigger story, Beck, because I know you always hunger for the big story. This kind of infantile analysis is taking hold on colleges all across the United States. All right, because of the cowardly administrators who are put in there, who kiss the butts of the far left and any radical people on campus, and they don't want any microaggressions or macroaggressions. Look, these idiots at George Washington University are ignorant. They want to reupholster. I love that. I want to You know what? I want to reupholster your head and just put upholstery all over it so you can't speak. I'm a fascist. Okay. I don't have any statues, so you can't take them down. George Washington, if you read Killing England, and I know you both have, all right, is a tremendous hero and almost solely responsible for the freedoms we have in America today. All the freedoms. Mm-hmm. Okay? That's the truth. Yes, he held slaves. He was a product of the aristocracy of the 18th century. All right? Yes, he did. That was wrong. John Quincy Adams and his father, John Adams, knew it was wrong. Washington looked the other way. You do not negate his whole life because he was an aristocrat in the 18th century, and that's what Southern aristocrats did. They held slaves. So it just gets me crazy. I don't know whether you know what's going on in Holy Cross, College of Holy Cross in Worcester, Massachusetts.
No.
They have this guy teaching who says that Jesus was a drag king.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
A drag king.
Yeah.
Okay. The College of the Holy Cross, a Jesuit university. Oh, well, he has academic freedom. We don't really agree with him. This is the president of the university.
I
don't really agree with his academic freedom.
I sent my daughter to Fordham University, where they promptly taught her, the priests, the Jesuits, promptly taught her that the Bible was a collection of stories and none of it's true.
Yeah, my daughter goes to Fordham too.
Yeah.
All right. But Fordham is a little bit better. They didn't give in to this radical group that was telling Republican students in the Republican Club, you can't go into the campus coffee shop. The administration of Fordham stood up to that, okay? But you have an unbelievable wave of cowardice on these college campuses now, and the radical idiots know it, and they use the students, just like they're using this David Hogg kid in Florida, and I hope we get into that in the next segment.
We are.
Okay. They're using these kids because they know the kids are stupid, and they know the kids are motivated by peer pressure. And I'll tell you one more thing before you take a break, because I understand your break cycle, Beck. I study your operation, okay? I was thinking about sending my daughter to George Washington University, so I went down and I checked out the dorms, and they're located in the city of Washington. And I walked in, and I could not breathe in the dorms at George Washington U. Do you know why?
Pot.
Yes, overwhelming. You couldn't breathe in the dormitories there. So that tells you all you need to know about George.
Well, I will tell you this, Bill, that I don't think these kids are stupid. I think these kids are being misled. I think there is. There is.
No. If you don't seek the truth, if you don't learn history, you're stupid.
I will tell you that if you were growing up in today's society, where almost every teacher is teaching you falsehoods and the media is showing you falsehoods, and all of popular culture is showing you falsehoods, and rewarding those who fall in line with the falsehoods, I'm not sure that the average person is that intellectually curious. I do blame, probably 10% to 18% of the population is strong enough to say, wait a minute, stop it. No, but not everybody is cut for that kind of travel. I will tell you, Bill, that I was ignorant most of my life because it's easy to be ignorant. It's hard to say, wait a minute, and go completely against the grain. I
have 18 lines for that, but I'm not going to do it because it's Good Friday. I'm telling you, Beck, I'm not cutting these college students, not high school kids.
I understand.
There's enough stuff out there. If you want to find out about George Washington, read Killing England. And Number one book for 12 weeks. Got it?
I got it.
All right.
I got it. I just don't know that if calling them stupid is the way to get them to be more intellectually curious.
Well, look, you know me, no spin. They're stupid.
Oh, man. Okay.
Glenn Beck.
Speaking of Bill O'Reilly, Good Friday. He's trying to be good, but it is Friday. We were just talking about George Washington University and the students that are in college, and Bill was talking about how they were stupid, and I believe they're unchallenged, and I think, you know, the tenure was meant so you could say crazy radical things. And now those radical things have changed over the years. But you can't say radical things now. You can only say Jesus was a drag king and get away with it. You cannot say that is postmodernist bullcrap, and here's why. You can't have the other side. You can only challenge one direction. And so if you are unchallenged, how do you get out of that, Bill?
Well, the goal of education is to seek knowledge, and in order to seek knowledge, you have to seek the truth, particularly in the liberal arts. I mean, you can't go around saying that Adolf Hitler was a good guy and misunderstood. I mean, you can't be doing these kinds of things and still be operating at a level where you're a teacher or a student on a college campus. All right? So if the goal is that your opinion overrides facts,
yes,
then you don't have a university anymore. You don't have a college anymore.
Nobody, because of postmodernism, facts don't exist.
Well, then you don't have a college campus.
Yes.
Then you don't have one.
Yes.
Okay, so why don't we just say do away with your grades, do away with your degree, and you can just have a social time for 4 years?
Well, haven't we already said that, really?
Did you ever hear the academic discipline? Academic discipline means that you deal with reality. Now, there are subjects that are subjective. Okay, we know that. But history is not one of them.
Correct.
And so you have a situation now where you're absolutely right that this is tolerated on college campuses.
No. This is not tolerated. This is not tolerated. This is encouraged. This is postmodernism. There is no objective reality. There is no objective truth. That's the deal.
Well, then that should be in the brochure of the college, that we do not believe in objective reality. So send your student here.
Yes, I would agree with you. That should be in the brochure. But we know that. All right, Bill, I'm going to get to the Laura Ingraham Hogg thing here in just a second. But I want to get on this particular topic. I want to get your thoughts on David Hogg, without going into the Laura Ingraham thing, because we'll get to that after the break. I've got about 90 seconds. Tell me your thought on these students and what the problem is.
Well, I think the students, as I've said, are doing a good thing by raising awareness of the debate in America over gun violence. I think that's a good thing. But it is clear to anyone who is covering the story that now the students, many of them anyway, are taking their cues, their information, their analysis and opinions from far-left people. Mm-hmm. All right, it's the same theme. They're not seeking the truth anymore, or they're not seeking information anymore. They're saying, send me something in the morning that I can tell CNN, that I can say on CNN.
And so now I want to go to the fascistic side of this argument, and that if you disagree, you say anything about this side, and they'll shut you down. Next.
Glenn Beck, Mercury. The Glenn Beck Program.
With Bill O'Reilly. Want to get into the boycott now that is being conducted, strangely, all by his little lonesome. This high school student is now conducting a boycott against Laura Ingraham because she had the audacity to say, after he started complaining that he wasn't getting into the schools that he wanted with a 4.1, she said, stop whining about it. This is not unusual at the schools that you were applying to. Well, he took great offense to that, and he's demanded an apology and a boycott. And Laura immediately said, I wasn't. You were whining. I'm not calling you names. I'm saying, knock it off, man. And she apologized for it, but that's not good enough. So now there is a boycott, and boy, Bill, have we not seen this movie before.
And you're going to see it 1,000 times again because there's no impediment to it. You know, there's no resistance to it. I see the story a little bit differently than you do. I don't think Laura Ingraham should have tweeted about the kids' academic situation. I don't think any commentator or adult should comment at all about any minor's situation in a personal realm. I just don't think that, you know, because the adult has the power and the perspective that the kid doesn't have. Even if the kid was whining, so what? The kid. So number one.
Wait. Everyone's stupid and there's no spin. What happened to that thing?
Yeah.
No.
And hang on, but wait a minute. But wait a minute.
Interpretive thing.
It is.
All right?
It is. So look, Bill. Wait. What? You and I both agree. When people were saying horrible things about Chelsea Clinton, you know, calling her the cowardly lion and everything else back in the 90s, we all thought that was wrong. We said kids are off limits. Don't do it. However, when they inject themselves in and they are being held up by the media as these gods and they have every fact wrong, every fact that I have heard come out of his mouth.
Now there's a different issue.
Right,
You're talking about the issue the kid's presenting, and I'm talking about his personal profile. So I don't have any problem with anybody saying, well, we believe David Hogg is misguided because X, Y, and Z. But on his personal portfolio, I don't think that adult should be
even if he's bringing it up in the public.
If he's bringing it up
in the public,
kid. All right.
Okay.
So I wouldn't have done it, but Laura said that she was sorry. She didn't mean to demean the kid. All right. But the big story here is within hours of Laura Ingraham tweeting this about the kids' college rejections, within hours, that kid and his friends had every sponsor on Laura Ingraham's program listed. Mm-hmm. They didn't do it. Mm-hmm. I could bet you $1 million Media Matters right there because, as we just said, the far-left agencies are working with David Hogg and his friends. Mm-hmm. All right? So they called him up or they texted him and said, hey, here are the sponsors, Dave. Why don't you do this? And Dave said, that's a good idea. I'll call for a boycott. And that's what they did. And then all of a sudden, 8 sponsors said, yeah, we're not going to advertise anymore because that's what these companies do. That's what they do. All right?
So who is the media and the left creating with David Hogg? What is the...
No, but that's not... David Hogg doesn't mean a thing. The big story is where freedom of speech is really in trouble. It's in trouble. The far left knows that at any time they can call for a sponsor boycott of anyone they despise. And some of these companies will fold. So you're going to see this over and over. And you've already seen it with me, with you, with Imus, with Limbaugh, with Hannity. Already seen it. Okay? And now it picks up more speed. And where are the companies defending their people? Where's that? So this is the story. David Hogg is just being used. He's being used. He's now a semi-celebrity. The far left has adopted him, feeding him things that he's putting out there. Everybody knows that. But the corporations of America, I mean, are you into freedom of speech doesn't exist anymore? Is that what you're into?
I have to tell you, Bill, I don't accept the idea that just because these are kids or they were in mourning, that we have to walk tiptoe around them. I really don't accept that.
Don't
they
have
are.
To on the
hang on just a second.
You and
Wait a minute.
Agree on that.
Wait a minute. They have engaged. David Hogg has called Dana Lash some of the worst names imaginable. She has said that Marco Rubio is splattered in blood. That he's made all kinds of accusations and name called, and I'm not going to name call back. I don't want to name call back, but if it's one thing to say. Let me play Michael Rappaport here. There's one thing to say that you know, how dare you say that about this kid? He's a kid. Leave him alone. Okay, but listen how the left is responding. Play Michael Rappaport.
Laura Ingraham, the Fox News reporter. You filthy pig. You dog-faced animal. Remember Laura Ingraham? Just a year ago at the Republican National Convention, throwing up the Nazi salute. Look at this. Check this out. Look at the Aryan pinup girl. This is the same Laura Ingraham who just a few weeks ago said that LeBron James and Kevin Durant and these athletes should just shut up and dribble. And then I said, infamously, that you should shut up and dribble. Remember her? And now Laura Ingraham, this savage, this dog, this mutt. And this has nothing to do with her looks. It has to do with her behavior. The things that she exudes.
Bill, I do not want to respond in kind. He's a stupid. He's a.
Where are the feminist organizations?
Exactly right.
Yeah,
exactly
where are
right.
Where are they?
Exactly right.
Yeah. Okay, so we all know what's happening. What's happening is that the far left, with the media approval and with their encouragement and their enabling, have now said we can stop speech that we disagree with. We can stop it. We can kill it. And we can do it through boycotts. Look, this guy that you just played, nobody cares what he says.
Mm-hmm.
He's all right.
He's a dope.
But the boycotts, that's ultra serious.
I will tell you this. I don't think a lot of people even know who Michael Rappaport is, and I celebrate that.
So I was struggling to put his face and name together.
Okay, so, right. So, I get that. However, language and what we're saying on Twitter and Facebook and in blogs, it does matter. When we're starting to call people vermin, that does matter. History shows us when you dehumanize people, it does matter.
Well, I'm sure that the feminist organizations are going to be all over Mr. Rappaport. I'm sure that next Friday when we speak, we'll look at the feminist organizations rising up and telling him those comments are inappropriate.
Yesterday, there was a great struggle on Twitter demanding facts and sources, and so I had to share with them NBC News. And yet still people didn't believe that the Pulse nightclub shooting, the first target was Disney. He was turned around by police officers being there. They have him on tape scouting it and then coming back later with a gun, putting guns into the baby carriage, and then seeing this enormous amount of people with guns and turning around, then just Googling that his target was not the gay club. That was his third choice. And he never Googled gay club. He just Googled nightclub in downtown Orlando. People don't believe that that was even true, half of the country, because no one reported on it. How do we come together, Bill, if half of the country is getting different news?
No, we don't. I mean, it's not going to happen. Maybe some kind of leader will emerge. Maybe it's happened before in our history, who can be so powerful in the White House that they can sweep aside the hatred that has taken hold. Possible. Probable? No. So you got two countries now, all right? And the two countries fight it out, and there are no rules. It's smear, 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 attack, 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 destroy, 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 and that's where we are.
Can you leave me with something happy?
Happy, Beck.
Not selling anything. Not selling anything.
I think, well, that's hard for me because I'm happy in the area of commerce. I am, but I will. All right. Easter and Passover weekends are different than all the other holidays because there really isn't commercialism involved in them, and there's not a lot of pressure of gifts and expectations, and so I think everybody should really, turn off the TV and, I want them to go to BillO'Reilly.com, of course. But other than that, just have a nice spring weekend. And my tip of the day yesterday on my Twitter at Bill O'Reilly was, if you know somebody who's alone, lives alone, invite them over for Easter dinner or Passover dinner. Even if they don't come, that's okay, but just invite them. And I think that if we all start thinking about that, people in our own neighborhoods, and you do that, how easy is that? You just do it, even if you don't particularly like them that much, So I want everybody to have a nice, relaxed weekend, including you, Beck. I want you to be relaxed, get away from stew and that kind of pressure. And just then Stu, you too, get away from Beck and let me do
Media Matters work for them. Bill O'Reilly says, invite lonely people over for dinner. Bill O'Reilly headline. Bill O'Reilly encourages cannibalism. It's all written for you. Written for you.
I know.
Hey, have a great Easter and Good Friday.
Have a nice weekend, and appreciate, of course, being on every week. It's a lot of fun.
You got it. We'll see you next week.
Okay, guys.
Bill O'Reilly appears every Friday on this program to recap the news and give us his non-spin.